We've got one last ticket to Manchester. We've got two Brazilian teams. It's David versus Goliath. Hello and welcome to the final of the Blast R6 Brazilian LCQ with me, Ian Chambers, joined on the desk. Let's bring it in. The guy has become one of my favorites. I'm not even going to lie. I know that you already love him. I've only just started working with him. CDAPS is in the building. Look, this truly is a last chance, and it's got major implications. CDAPS, it all comes down to this, right?
Yeah, for one of these teams, they're either going to punch their ticket to Manchester and get a few more games, and the loser, they're going to have a nice long off season where they're going to have to reflect over how close they were. It's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. It's going to be rough. But we've already had so many teams eliminated, Ian, that, we kind of need to look at the graves.
Yeah, we do know, of course, prior to LCQ, FaZe Clan, Furia, and E1 Sports booked their spots at the Manchester Major, which is at the back end of May very soon. And we have seen a real mixed bag here in LCQ. It's been a very unpredictable, bracket to watch, CDAP.
Yeah, on the top side, you would have expected W7M to be in this position, but Liquid coming out of nowhere. They slammed down everybody. They've improved so much, hit the hot streak at the right moment, and they're right here in the grand final. But then as we look to the bottom side of the bracket, this is where the true underdog story from the underside of the bracket has been. It's been Fluxo, unable to win a game through any group stage, all of a sudden coming out and almost with just one singular series away from going to their first S-tier event.
Well, you can see there in the semi-finals, it was a real treat because finally we actually got to witness 6 maps yesterday. And as we've alluded to in our first semi-final, Liquid progressed, sending W7M home, Connor, because it's strange to say, of course, it's a different roster, but not seeing W7M at a major event feels a little bit weird.
It feels wrong. It really does, because when you watch W7M through the group stage, they were one of the best teams in Brazil. They go in towards playoffs, they stumble just a little bit, but they were so close to playing Furia in that third place game and getting the better of them. Unfortunately, it was such a tight affair. They go down to LCQ. Everybody thinks, hey, this team should win LCQ. But all of a sudden, 2 rosters that just kind of took their step back. They went down to the open qualifiers. They started training. They started grinding. And they started getting better.
Well, Fluxo, of course, also shocked the world, sending the Black Dragons flying. Let's just take a look at my predictions for a moment here, CDAP. The only reason I want to bring these up is because I feel like I'm a little bit ahead. Because we put these brackets together at the very beginning. And look, we were wrong about the final. Both of us were. But Team Liquid, I still have winning this entire thing. The same can't be said for you. So I've still got a shot and making it all the way. Let's just bring Daps back in camera for a second here. Who did you think was going to progress out of LCQ?
I really had high hopes for Vivo Stars. I was so prepared. I was so prepared for this team to win. And it was just so tragic where once again they break my heart over and over again. But you know what, Ian? They can't hurt me anymore. It's over. They're done. It's forever. We're all on Team Liquid now. It's a Liquid show. We're a Liquid fan base. We're a Liquid desk, and I think Liquid's gonna win.
I hope you didn't break anything then. That looks like a nice coaster. Look, let's take a look at what you did go for here. This is what I mean. This is exactly what I've been trying to explain. It is unpredictable, CDAPS, and you felt that firsthand.
Yeah, I really did think Vivo Stars were going to bounce through. Thankfully, I did think Liquid was going to just look so good, but I didn't think they were going to get over the edge against Vivo Stars roster. Now that Fluxo has populated that position, where they've gone through the whole lower bracket, and they're where Vivo Stars should have been if my world was proper. Still got to give the edge to Liquid once again, and I think you're going to be a real happy man today.
Yeah, let's take a look at the schedule for today. It's a very, very simple one. We have got a huge series ahead of us. It has got a big feel to it of Siege. It is Team Liquid versus Fluxo. David versus Goliath, as I said, for the last flight to Manchester. Let's get into it. This is big.
It definitely is, because both of these rosters have changed so much in the way that they're playing, but their rosters have stayed the same. It's just how they're applying their system and how they're showing up inside the lobbies has been a phenomenal story so far. You see, their ranks and their records, they aren't that great, but that's also kind of removing the initial early parts of the groups where both of these teams are on a hot streak. They have the momentum. They're on an upswing in form, and they're hitting their strides at the right time.
Let's look at this Liquid roster. Speaking of hitting their strides in time, we keep saying, is Liquid back? Is this finally it? Is Liquid back? I don't think we can officially say it unless they get the job done here. This is where they have to prove it.
Yeah, if Liquid was to lose, it would be the most Liquid moment ever for this team, where they just, rope along their fans, pull them by the heartstrings, and then shatter their hearts once again. But right now, Liquid has just been kind of shattering every opponent that they've had to go up against. 2 games, not necessarily the easiest, but this W7M victory that they showed yesterday kind of cemented that, hey, they are back to one of the best teams in Brazil. They are competitive, they look good, and they can go toe-to-toe with anybody.
All right, let's move on to their opponents. The David to the Goliath that is, of course, Fluxo here. Attacks for these guys are shot right up.
Yeah, they were the worst attacking team after the group stage. They struggled tremendously on the attacking side of the game. Defensively, they were fine, but the attacks are what kept them out of playoffs. That's what sent them to the open qualifiers. And as a new team, it made sense. Most rosters do struggle on the attacking side when they're trying to find their groove. They're trying to find how their overall identity and how they're going to play the game. They come in for playoffs, LCQ here, and they look so much better on the attacking side. They look cohesive. They're playing for picks properly. They're transferring over their entry engagements into proper round wins. And, that's great to see.
Yep, they're pulling it together, and they've got one heck of a task on their hands here. Let's take a look at, combined 2 duos that we really need to be looking at here going into it. Nesk and Palu versus Hashi and Astro. Entry duos are going to be going head-to-head here, and it should be a treat for us.
Yeah, these are going to be the 2 duos that are going to be fighting in the early round pretty much every single round of this entire matchup. And if you want to just glue your eyes to one part of the game and understand what's going to happen based on it, it's going to be how these entry engagements go. Both of these players on Team Liquid, we know. Nesk and Palu, we always talk about how amazing and phenomenal they are, their ability to take over rounds and be so incredibly impactful. But Hashi and Astro, they're still doing well for their own metrics. Sure, Hashi, he's a rookie. Astro, he's a veteran, but they do have the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with this just very fabled and historic powerful duo of Nesk and Palu.
Yeah, they don't get any more fabled and historic than those guys. Now, let's take a look at map vetoes for this LCQ Grand Final. 2 maps is all you need to make sure that you book your spot in the Manchester Major, and it's time to find out where this is going to be played out, Connor.
Yeah, right now in the LCQ, we have seen a lot of variety in the map ban area. Teams are going to Nighthaven. They're going to Consulate. They're going to all these fun maps, but as we instantly see Liquid ban Consulate, they don't necessarily feel that comfortable taking Fluxo in a must-win game to anything with a lot of variety. So far as well, with Fluxo banning out the Border and banning out Chalet, that's going towards the strengths of Team Liquid and trying to remove the very strong maps that seems to be very polarizing and shoved in the direction of Team Liquid. But as Oregon is left up, that seems pretty good for Liquid. They feel strong about it, and sure, Fluxo has had a somewhat decent and somewhat competitive form on Oregon when they've shown it. Team Liquid, on the other hand, have looked absolutely amazing on this map as they decimated their opposition.
Let's move on now to see where Fluxo want to take us, and we are going to Bank for our second map here.
Yeah, Bank was a map that yesterday I really did discount Fluxo on. It was their own map choice against Black Dragons. I had massive question marks. I was thinking, what are they doing? Last time we saw Fluxo's Bank, it looked rough, and Black Dragons very strong on that map. Now in a similar vein, with Liquid being good on Bank, a very good historic Bank, it should be interesting once again if we see the new gen fight off against the old. And what a surprise that we're going to Clubhouse for the decider. It seems very poetic. It seems just correct that we're going to be going to a lot of equalizer maps in this series, where now we're just going to know who definitively the better team is.
When Fluxo beat Black Dragons yesterday, we saw in the player cams, we saw the reaction, wherever they are, all together, going crazy. It means everything for them to take this opportunity on. But you've got to reset and get set up for something completely different when it comes to Team Liquid. How do you approach this mentally if you are Fluxo? Because Liquid, yes, they've got a history of bottling it sometimes in some of the biggest moments that they need to step up. But they'll be feeling surely very confident coming into this. Fluxo, they need to approach this delicately, but also with some serious, almost like ballsy confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say for Fluxo, they're going to have to try to break down the Liquid defenses, which is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination because of what we've seen as the massive improvement factor of Team Liquid being on that defensive side. In groups, it was their biggest weakness, and sure, what's actually a little bit strange is you look and see, hey, their entry engagements on the defensive side have gone down, but every other stat has gone up. It means that they're going for quality over quantity. On their roams, they're really getting a lot more set up. They're getting a lot more structured. And as a result, they're going to end up getting a lot more round wins if they get that crucial opening engagement. Sure, as we're going to talk with Fluxo, on their attacking side, they've been really, really good at playing for picks. They're getting a lot of those just kind of niced off roamers, boxing them out, getting those engagements and winning. But it's still going to be even more difficult against Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about their attacking skyrocketing, and it's been a big part of why Fluxo have been able to get into a position here where they can battle for a huge spot at the Manchester Major.
Yeah, and once again, it's just going to be two things to look out for. How successful are Fluxo going to be on their attacking side against Liquid defenses? That's going to set the stage for the flip side, where both of them have a little bit stronger of the kind of inverse, as well as, once again, what's going to happen in that matchup of Ashi and Astro versus Nesk and Palu. We can say definitively Liquid, they have a better supporting crew. Those next three players on Liquid as opposed to Fluxo. But once again, when you have the opportunity for Hashi or Astro to completely take over a game, you do need them initially to just kind of out-diff Nesk and Palu.
A win here for both teams tells two very different stories. If Fluxo go on to win here, if they can conquer Liquid and make it to the Manchester Major, it puts their name on the map. If Liquid win here, it's almost like they salvage their name, right, and make it into the major that arguably a lot of their fans themselves and their org would expect them to have made already.
Yeah, when they started off 0-4, everybody wrote off Liquid, especially because you can look at the stats and be like, yeah, Liquid were awful. But if you watched the games, you would definitively know that, yeah, they were awful. They were not playing together as a team. Their system didn't work. Players didn't believe in the system. Then something happened week 5, where all of a sudden, ever since then, the only only series they have dropped has been against FaZe Clan. And that's kind of everybody in Brazil has dropped a FaZe Clan. They've defeated every other obstacle in front of them, and right now they just have one more, and it's Flux.
As Connor mentioned on that desk, that's going to be a duel that you want to keep your eyes on for the rest of this. Now, you'll be able to clear that space, get access inside a freezer, and Liquid have that first checklist ticked off in this offensive round in Oregon.
Yeah, well, might as well. No more magnets, meaning that those Candelas can be even more powerful as they won't get caught later on in the game. We're already almost inside the final 30% of the round. 1 minute and 45 gone already. As Team Liquid will begin opening those hatches. All these little things that you do creates pressure for the defenders. You cannot focus on one angle at all. The big thing that I've noticed is not a single bit of pressure coming from that construction side. Freezer being pressurized, the hatch being pressurized, a little bit of pressure will be put towards Laundry as well to keep those defenders in place. But 45 seconds to go in round 1. Which of these teams is going to take the advantage in Oregon?
You want to imagine that Liquid, with the numbers game in their favor, should be able to trade their way to success, but Fluxo have decided they're going to patch up elbow and at this moment sit down and put their guard up and try and survive the onslaught. Liquid are arrived that pressure now. In goes those Candelas, but look at this. Luca is going to be completely immune to them. Astro got the opening pick for that one. Paul, who finds a second, trades off towards Astro, but Luca has a massive moment here. Matrix finds that C4 going off, and Fluxo should be able to ride out this round. Absolutely great position on highway. Mirror window still persisting, and Candela goes deep though. Paulo needs to go big for his team. Unblinded, Raps gets that shotgun up close and personal. This should be a freebie. Free fire from Lagonis is good for 4 seconds. Time is going to be his enemy, and there's no way he gets this done, right? Right? No,
oh, he's behind you. He's behind you. There you go. No kill. We'll whip it. That was chaotic, but that is exactly where Fluxo thrive. The more chaotic the round gets, the stronger they become. If Liquid make this a really tactical battle, that's where I feel like Fluxo will feel. So for them to get the opening round, to get that...
Does get a massive opening. That's your Valkyrie off the board. However, double-edged sword. You might have one less gun, you might have one less nitro cell to work with, but now you've got a dedicated operator on every single camera. And well, that one doesn't last long, but now you at least know a threat's arriving from Big Tower. But Nesk will see the open rotation. It's an invitation to get control of Attic.
You get it for free, and it's open on the perfect side as well to sneak into Attic without any real pressure coming from down inside of Pit. So for Liquid, they have essentially got that for free with Mitrix falling. Another rotate is being played over by the master and bedroom side, but as always, there is an internal clock for the defenders. At some point, they will look to remove it. But for me, the mirror window is still there, but Liquid have taken a ton of ground on that side of the map, but no real pressure on master bedroom just yet.
This is what's concerning me. Liquid have got themselves the early advantage now. It's a gift horse moment where Ness was able to find that essentially freebie on the Mitrix. But Liquid haven't capitalized on that moment. You get the early pick, and you have an option to get a little bit more aggressive and really try and seize the day with it. Bees go out, and Luke would find that pressure. The position will be identified. He'll fall back, and the Bees have done their job buying space. That's going to be an invitation for Maya. They only find one. Luca gets that confirmation, shuts him down, and Fluxo begin to fall one by one. Ness finds a second, and Luca absolutely nowhere to go. Here comes Liquid. Once again, they take victory on Dorms. They get themselves their second round of the offense here in Oregon.
And it's always the Nesk and Palu show whenever Team Liquid are able to win those rounds. So 3-2, big round. I feel like even though this is only the first map, this is a very big round for Fluxo. They need that 4-2 If Liquid get the 3-3, they'll be very happy. Now, we're seeing a site setup going back down to the ground floor, the first floor, and whip it. With that, we're seeing Tachanka being brought as we go to kitchen dining this time around. Now, we've not seen an awful lot of Tachanka this stage. We don't see an awful lot of Tachanka on this site. Other than trying to cook Liquid, what are Fluxo cooking up here?
Hopefully not Liquid for my benefit for this one. Unsure what weaponry got brought out by Raps. I don't know if you caught it, if the LMG or SMG's in play coming into this one. But again, it's going to be that option of that range denial. You can put your Tachanka in a much further laid back position, and you can kind of eat away at time. The thing about this is while realistically on paper you have a tremendous amount of time burn and area control, the consistency of the Shamika launcher just really isn't there. It's not as consistent as a Goyo canister nor a smoke canister. So it can be a little bit of a reliance on Lady Luck to look your way. We'll see how that one plays out, but I'm not against the addition coming into it. And if it is an LMG, a bit of extra firepower, and I'm very curious what Raps has got. It will be actually the SMG.
Don't you still get the ACOG on that SMG?
I believe you do, because it did have access.
There you go.
Yeah, because it had access to the 2x before the changes, yes.
Yeah, so that'll be another reason why Raps takes it. You got the ACOG, you've still got the time denial ability, but you have to be a bit more precise than you need to be if you're using those smoke canisters, if you're using another operator of that style. So Team Liquid will start the round by putting a little bit of pressure over on the small tower side. Again, you might not want to push from here, but just by putting pressure on the side of the map, it does give you options. It keeps pressure on the defenders. Astro doing a great job of denying all of those pellets, falling back as well. I was about to say keeping his life in place, but Palu, yeah, Nesk is just getting the case down. Walks on into sight. Oh my god, what have you let happen, Fluxo? Nesk gets the case down, and it's a scramble now. A 5 versus 4, and a retake will come through. Nesk finds another kill on the round. 5 versus 3. Peeks across the corner, but he will get found by Raps, but time is ticking away. You've got about 20 seconds. Oh my god, Maya, there you go. Pops in the window. Another player falls. Palu gets it, and Team Liquid will get a 3-3 because Raps got pretty much nothing he can do from this position.
Throw your ones to the sky and acknowledge Liquid with that one right there. Massive amount of experience. He sees the opportunity. You can have the best laid plans. You can want to use a Shamika launcher, deny a plant from downtown. But what can you not do? You can't if you don't have information. Liquid isolated that player to Solace, shut them down, and they walk straight in the dining. Walk straight in the site. Case goes down. There's nothing they could do. Fluxo, completely unaware, completely caught napping, and it ends up in a level half moving on the Liquid's defensive side.
Solace was the only player on that side of the map, and Solace thought they did their job whenever they shot off the pellets on the wall in towards dining. And while all that was going on, I don't know whether they pushed in the main door or if they pushed in freezer because we didn't quite see it. But Liquid just walked into sight, got the kill while the rest of Fluxo were trying to play an extended roam. They were on the top floor. They were playing over by meeting. And if you give Liquid a small gap like that, or as you know, we would always say an inch, they're going to take a mile. Excellent read from Team Liquid. They level the sides at the half, and now we have the side swap. Which of these teams will take the lead Now, will Liquid be able to win their first round on defense, or will Fluxo bounce back from what was an awful round by them?
I wouldn't even say it was an awful round, Gibby. What I will say is, I think Liquid sees the opportunity, and the thing about that that's a little bit rare is that a Solace is in play. Normally with a Solace in play, teams aren't able to drone aggressively into a building, and there's an air of uncertainty with the lack of information. They had a lot of drones still available to them. They were able to make have complete vision on what the site was, and they committed to it. Great calling from Liquid, great decision from the IGL getting brought out there. I think Fluxo just left their defense a little bit, thinly spread. Liquid were very much prepared for it. Banshee did go outside in barrels, and no one was there to take advantage of it. Nesk mounted up, extended, and Liquid really want to hold majority of the site at this moment. One Twitch drone already denied. Realistically, that's a big benefit for Liquid going into this at this early stage. The Twitch drones can deny or open up those Goyo canisters, meaning they can waste 20 seconds of burn when it's not needed.
Remember, this is Liquid's map pick as well, so Team Liquid, they've given that Phantom pressure. Fluxo spent a lot of this round already trying to just get some vertical control inside. Hashi's in position. Nesk will see the hatch open up, and all of Liquid now will fall back to site. They've used up 1 minute, which is essentially that internal clock that you want to use on the round. So now for Fluxo, it's about speeding things up just a little bit. We need to press the issue. There is no Mira, but Ash is still an incredible entry up in the current way that Siege plays out. Hashi will begin to step down through Freezer. He has been droned down to this point, but you would assume that he's going to hold this angle for a little bit with it in case anyone from Liquid does attempt to get greedy, attempts to retake something. But they might even just open up this soft wall and give them... Nope, I thought they were going to open up the soft wall, but they will get rid of some utility around the corner.
Still a lot of Liquid players committing to the idea of holding on to barrels, and I like this from Astro, an unusual choice to bring the fuse, but again, you throw your cluster charge on that reinforced hatch, you create utility down below it, maybe move some defenders around. That could give an opportunity if the crossfire is being held, and then you get the hatch with the can opener back pocket. I like this from Fluxo, step by step they're clearing utility, giving themselves lots of avenues of access. And Liquid, I don't think they're fully aware that the amount of positions that they're going to be attacked from. There's going to be pressure arriving from lobby. There's going to be a pressure arriving from Freezer. Likely from backstage as well. Fluxo going for a split take, and it's going to be a lot of pressure arriving. Those Candelas from Mitric should arrive. And Paulu, the player that needs to deal with it.
But they're almost attacking the site from every possible angle. Big tower side, freezer side, laundry side. The only place they're not coming is construction, and there's the Candelas going off. Hashi will get one. Oh my god, it's an absolute bloodbath. Maya the last alive. And just like that, it is a flawless response from Fluxo. So much better. And we've heard a split theory, but that was almost an every single angle assault, and Liquid were not ready. Great call from Fluxo, they take the round.
I absolutely love rounds like that from this team, though. You think about this, Liquid are going to expect a two-pronged approach, maybe one from backstairs or an E-box hatch and pressure from the freezer, etc. You decide to commit to everything all at once, all the time. You don't give Liquid options here, and Hashi absolutely gifted a freebie there. One by one they fell. Hashi got two Astro finds resets in that chaos. Maya left alone. Nothing he could do with that one. And well, Fluxo get themselves a lead on the offense, and that was a pretty poor showing from Liquid, but they had no real option to do it. Fluxo, all encompassing, smothered them out in that round. Let's see if they can keep that one going here.
Site swap from Team Liquid. They didn't like what happened on basement, so they'll change it up now going to the top floor. Frost being brought into play. You've got, the Fenrir in position as well. Whip it. Always nice to see you playing here in Brazil. Got to get the joke out early on the day. Big one for me, though, is the positioning of those Valk cams. How much information can Team Liquid garner from that bit of utility? IQ will be brought by Hashi as a counter to that because of how important that could be. Oh, but they've brought two shields on the round as well. One C4, and they've got a BP. So they have so many ways of getting information without necessarily putting a player at risk.
All the Liquid fans, a bit of doubt beginning to seep in here, you got to feel. That's going to be a factor again. I mentioned that the pressure, different variations of pressure sits on both these teams' shoulders for the Liquid. It was a difficult day against W7M. They had massive leads, began to let them slip away. Just want to hope that they can be a little bit more mentally strong coming into this. Fluxo have looked very good in this offensive side. They have a very good idea what they want to do, how they want to line this up. And Nats is going to get aggressive! Best laid plans go out the window when the first right hand is thrown, and Nesk will do that. Rocking Fluxo, but can they get a reply? Or is Nesk good for 2? Trapped and walking. Rap should be able to win this one with an ACOG if he plays his cards right, but Nesk, wily old fox, and he'll retreat. Stays in the fight, gets his 1, and retreats.
Yeah, there's Astro taking a ton of damage as well as he drops down to 1 HP as they put pressure from the opposite side. Mitrix is playing flank watch for his side now, so he'll sit in this position. Now, the problem is when you have a player on flank watch, when you're already in a 4v5, it does essentially take a gun out of the main bit of the push. That is something you can do with a drone at this stage of the game. Nesk cannot get this wall reinforced as things stand, so he'll still focus on keeping pressure on the section of the map. Fluxo, not liking what they've seen on Master, are beginning now to rotate as they'll look to put a little bit of pressure from the Astro side, or from the big tower side, and Astro will be able to open up that wall. There you go, second time lucky. We'll be able to open this attic wall with the hard breach utility as well. But a minute left to go, a player down. They need a next pick.
Not only a player down, but you realistically look at the damage on Astro that's been taken. Mitrix takes a beating as well on the top of main stairs. Not going to be ideal. Massive damage done. Raps left in DBNO. Likely not going to be recovered anytime soon, but Liquid, sense blood in the water, might begin to get aggressive with this. Smoke canisters go out to try and get that confirmation. Mandela sent by Astro to give an opportunity, a window. But he might be able to strike Mitrix. Some North American parkour there. Not able to make it up. Second time, though. Gets the job done. Can they find a way in?
That's still DBNO. I'm not quite sure if they're able to get the res with the time, but they're going to attempt it anyway. Resets will find a kill as Hashi falls, and they're going to go for the res. Maya with the Warden. Going to get aggressive now. He knows he can with all the Candelas being thrown this way. Mitrix will fall at the hand of Nesk, but Raps is there to play the trade. Raps almost gets a second, but resets with the swing and leaves it all down to the 1 HP. Astro, he gets his 1. He's got his cost for the round. And, well, Team Liquid will level the sides at 4 rounds apiece.
I've got a sneaking suspicion, Gibby. This might be a long, long series. Neither one of these teams wants to give an inch. And we can't find realistic daylight between them. We draw the sides level after 8 rounds yet again. Liquid Fluxo already trading blows. Early days, map number 1. Gibby, I'm very impressed with the defensive or the offensive side from Fluxo. They look massively confident in what they want to do. The Liquid structure there, established on that dorm site, was very difficult to break down. Massively benefited by the aggressive pick early that Nesk was able to find. We'll move down towards this basement, and let's be fair, Fluxo looked absolutely perfect. It was a perfection round. There was nothing wrong with that. I cannot fault it from their side. The way they used Grim to manipulate the position of every member of Liquid, cleared utility with those Flores drones, and attacked and probed from every position. More of the same from them. Can Liquid find a solution?
Here's the thing, though. As good as Fluxo's attacks have been, every single defensive round that we've seen that has been successful have been rounds where the defending team has gotten a little bit more aggressive in the early phases of the round, playing the roam game, looking for early picks, because we're playing in a game of Siege now where if you sit back, if you try to turtle every single defense, the attackers are going to win because there is so much utility that attackers can use. So all the successful rounds have come off the back of one of the defenders, at the very least, being a big problem in the early stages. So, round number 9 has begun. And well, for Fluxo, you look at the lineup they have brought a blitz into play. They have brought logic bombs with the Dokkaebi as well. So, it's people always see this and think rush. No, it will be a very fast attack when it happens. But Fluxo,
well, it's happening.
It is a rush, yeah, it's a rush. I said they were going to slow it down. They're rushing, yeah, right in through Laundry. There's the smoke grenade, stepping right through the rotate. Luki gets the first one, Luki gets one, Mitrix gets another, Nesk and Palu trading it back. But look at the amount of value that's been... Okay, Palu, okay.
Well, the round is well, Gibby, that's opened up the round. Liquid finding a trade back, getting themselves to level playing field. Look at this, 3 bodies stacked up. Lucas got the cover, DMR finds one. Case goes down, they know exactly where the threat's arriving from. Liquid got nowhere to go, but I don't think they had any information. Did they know 3 bodies are stacked up in Freezer? Raps holds a tight position, C4 ripped, he needs to get aggressive, try and keep himself in this fight. Sent out, Nesk will fall. All down to Lagonis. They find anything. Grazes the shoulder of Raps, not enough for DBNO. needs to take the fight, needs to start moving, needs to get aggressive with it now. Knows he's prone, needs to win his one and does so. All down the list though. Has to stick it. Pros don't fake. The information's there. The red pings go out and time will be his adversary. Lucan, absolute MVP of that round. Great cover, locks it out. And Flux will get themselves another victory in that basement site.
Still got to give tons of credit for the Blitz for just clearing out enough space to get that plant. Took up all that ground, got a kill or two. Yes, did fall at the end, but at that point, all of Team Liquid were trapped inside a freezer, and there was nothing they could do to stop the case going down. In that position, Lucan had the perfect hold. Like you said, not sure if they knew everyone from Liquid was trapped inside a freezer, but there was virtually nothing they could do about the Liquid hold unless they played for the trade. But massive credit Fluxo. They have been the team that's been in the lead for most of this game. Remember, Liquid have not been in the lead once in this matchup so far. And Fluxo just keep finding a way to take rounds. Keep finding a way to keep themselves ahead. And they've made Liquid so uncomfortable that they've now been forced to take a timeout.
Late game timeout called. Liquid realistically need to convert this, get themselves level yet again. I feel if we let map point advantage go to Fluxo at this stage, he might be waving goodbye to Oregon a little bit earlier than we would have wanted to say so. But Liquid have always drawn at level so far, but Fluxo on these attacks have looked exceptional. Those two basement rounds have been absolutely superb. Their vision, the ideas they want to do and how they execute them has been brilliant. This side has complete trust in each other and they understand the method. Once again, they bring out that blitz, or at least they're flashing it early. We Matrix on that. A flurry of swaps occur. We'll see a Twitch being brought out of Bravo. We will lose that blitz. And I think perhaps Fluxo were expecting another attempt at that basement site. Maybe not going to that traditionally tertiary site Liquid have adopted in this round.
Yeah, but you look at the changes that Fluxo have made, it shows that they have a plan in mind. They've brought the Ash to deal with those mirror windows. Bravo will be able to steal away the Valcams if they're able to find them. Those Malusi gadgets are great value to steal as well if you're able to get them. But with a double hard breach being brought here by the side of Fluxo, they've got Thermite, they've got Ace, they've seen how many reinforcements have been utilized from the side of Liquid on the top floor, and they're thinking, right, we have a lot of things to open here, so let's double down, bring twice as much hard breach. Let's see if Liquid and Matrix and Hashi are able to get some value for us as those entries.
4 drones lost within the prep phase as well from Fluxo. I think they opted for an aggressive droning style to get a fair idea of the structure, the setup. Maybe we weren't expecting this site and had to re-pivot their drones away, but Liquid will just revel a little bit in the understanding that they can choke out information. Fluxo working with limited reserves at this moment. On those aforementioned drones now, they'll lose another one. Lagonis will catch that, and Liquid have set up a labyrinth for Fluxo to begin to deal with. In the field, though, the opening engagement of this round might be the most pivotal one. Luca puts that pressure upstairs from big window. It's where you want to find it. Means Maya can't move with freedom. Stuck in hobo for the time being.
Still needs to be cleared. You know, knowing the player there is one thing. You've still got to clear Maya, and yes, when you've seen Maya come to this roster, you thought he would have been the main character. But it's been Nesk and Palu that have shown up. Nesk going 9 and 8 for Team Liquid, but look at the stats on the... Oh my god.
We cut away from it right there.
Yeah, there's another. Yeah, Nesk runs out, gets himself 2, gets traded, but that is a great bit of value that's been gathered. Down goes the Ace, down goes the Ash. They can do nothing now about those mirror windows. And Nesk, he goes to 11 and 9.
Not so much gets his 1, gets his 2 for that one. Here's the Valkyrie cameras, and Raps will begin to work on that wall. Still not going to be a comfortable position for Liquid. They don't have access to rotate around Attic. That's going to be held from that rooftop. So, realistically, Fluxo have 2 guns active in the building. That's going to be Lucan and Raps. Really committing on hoping that someone walks into that line of sight. Denied from that position. Luca's not even in the building yet. Still time to work with. Just over 45 seconds. Begin to scan for what will be a limited amount of Valkyrie cameras still on the board. I think most of them have been cleared at that moment. Raps is now aware of that mirror position, but what a shot from Paulu. Downtown by split, Maya gets 1. Luca will collect Maya though. 30 seconds, Liquid should be able to ride this one out to victory. But Luca, experienced player, all the talent you would have wanted. Maybe a little bit too much of asking. One player tucked in the back, tucked inside T1. The case locked in as well. Case going cold. I think Lucan might just be walking the lion's den here. Does he know someone's just lurking to his left? I don't think he does. Ollie will be the distraction, and it will be a freebie. Nearly so, but Gibby, 10 seconds left. The round is going to go for Liquid. They bring themselves level yet again.
Yeah, we'll get us 2. There you go. It's a double for Lucan, padding those stats on the round, but nothing he could do. Palu finds another in what's been an impressive game for him so far. But no matter as impressive as Nesk and Palu have been, they're still only leveling up the matchup. Now, we have now locked in every single round in regulation for this game as the sides go 5 apiece. But I need to remind everyone, this is Liquid's map, and not once have they been in the lead in this matchup. Fluxo have always found a way to get themselves back in the lead. So, one of these sides will get the chance to win this game in regulation. If Liquid win this, it'll be them. If Fluxo win it, they'll have one attack to try steal away Liquid's map for overtime. Whip it. There's a frost mat though. We usually do it with cap cans, but who is going to go into that frost mat?
You're forcing me to make a frost mat prediction. Twitch
Yep.
chat, type a name as well. Who will you curse to walk into one? I'm going to say it's going to be Hashi.
It's not called a frost prediction. It's a frost forecast. Whip it. Come on.
Okay, Gibby. Okay. Alliterate. You and alliteration. Sir Gibson Gaming.
Oh dear Lord! Don't bring that back.
Your old handle on bird-based social media.
Oh my Lord! I will real name you, even though everyone knows your real name. I'll real name you.
It's on Wikipedia, mate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, Dylan.
Oh, okay, Darren. But we are 10 rounds deep. We are still level. You made a good point coming in this though. Liquid are yet to lead on this. It is their map of choice. They've only been good enough to get themselves level. Fluxo have been meeting the pace and tempo so far. So for Liquid to get themselves on the map point here would be a great position to find themselves in. They're upstairs in dorms. This has been one of their strongest looking defensive attributes for this side. Nesk not going to be as aggressive instead of walking this time. So with the option to do so as well, with that rotation available to him. Eye on that cover, lurking inside trophy room as well. And I feel the fact they know that Nesk is keen to get aggressive might be a little bit scary.
I'm pumped though. This is a huge round for both of these sides because you feel like you'd argue that on Liquid's map, if they win this round, they're the most likely to take in a regulation. But Nesk takes a little bit of damage there. And we saw it previously. He was able to peek that same angle and get himself a kill off the back of it. This time, though, not the same. Mitrix has already made his way inside a flag. Now I'm looking at the blue silhouette. Palu will play on the hatch, so there's not really much Mitrix can really do. And Buck will attempt to help get this wall open. So Buck goes below, opens it up, searches to see if he can get these 2 bandits, and then they'll get pressure from that attic side. Now, the real question I was about to ask, is Palu going to be aggressive or fall back? He has sprinted all the way back down to pit, inside of Kids and Whip It. Minute and 15 to go.
Wise choice from Palu, falling all the way back. Flores drone will clear a variety of utility here. Won't get that shield. Could have got that barbed wire to give themselves a potential push up those main staircase. Maya will find that pressure, but the longer he can deny that Flores drone, which will actually clear his shield, so he'll fall back now. This might be more important to have Nesk available inside of walk-in closet. Get aggressive with that SMG-11 combination. Hell inside of armories there. That will be Astro jumping out quickly, not liking what he's seeing. Down below, the skeleton key chews through that floor. Nesk realistically can't reinforce that all. He'll be stuck in that position. Playing a dangerous game, dancing around the buck down below. Balancing on those beams. It's going to be the frost mat. Lurking behind the bed. You got to feel for them in that moment. Liquid lead. In terms of one player, though, Fluxo gets that trade. So important. Resets off the board. 20 seconds. You begin to feel the pressure from Fluxo is arriving. Nest from down below shut down, but Maya pops up for 1. SMG-12 can't make it 2. And Fluxo knocking on the door. They should go level in terms of players. The lead now. Ashy needs to win his 1. Can't find it. Laguna sticks it. Drops. Proto wins the round. Liquid on that point in Oregon.
Oh, Lagotinus, when things are needed, he's able to pull out the play. Team Liquid, are they going to win their map in regulation? This is the only time all game long they've been in the lead. It wasn't pretty. It was chaotic. But They won it at the end. The Frost map was more telling than you ever could have thought in the current game. Losing that player who had a freebie looking in towards trophy just changed everything. Basement now, the site that we're going to go to for this final defense. Last time we were here, Fluxo rushed down Laundry, got the case down, and got cover. Team Liquid, are they going to fall for you? Malusi might just be an operator that they need to stop that from happening again. The wub-wubs going off will give tons of information. Whip it. Look at that lineup. So yes, it can still change, but a lot of the pieces that you would expect to be there are there, and there's the Blitz once more.
This Blitz play was very effective last time out, of course. Bought them that space, created that, I think, that wave of chaos that descended around Liquid. Hatches open up inside a meeting room. Indicative, a little bit of an extension, wanting to hold that control. Again, if Fluxo want to go aggressive and want to rush, and you have a significant amount of roam pressure upstairs, and I did see actually quickly on that top down, in that white bucket, there is a drone. Lurking in that cutoff spot, would have seen Paulo. All the information that he is lurking on that east side, or at least close to it, and Hashi will be using that information to base off this initial push. Perhaps waiting for a second teammate to get a drone ahead of him. Or just relying on instinct, knowing Paulo might be close.
Like Hashi has got such a big job, but look at the fight that's waiting. Palu with the SMG-12, playing by Freezer, two blue silhouettes looking from this side. Just tell Hashi is hesitant, waiting for a call from the rest of the team, waiting for the backup drone. There you go. Now you know there's a player in Freezer, and the drone is not going to get taken down as well, so they're getting even more value off of this drone. Palu will go for the swing, and is it one made him error? Yes, it is. Hashi's able to find the opener of this big round, and that now frees up the ability to push down through Freezer. That is not a kill the Team Liquid could afford.
Well, Nesk in the fadeaway gets that trade back onto Hashi, falls back through that hatch and retreats towards site. And at 50. Good to have that level playing field yet again, but you would have wanted Paulo in the fight. On that Warden, considering a Blitz will be a very vocal point of this execution. Still not end of days yet. Twitch drone goes in, hunting down information, hunting down utility. No Goyo counters to pop early, but it will get shot out.
Minute and a half left in the round now. Blitz is still alive, and I believe that they're getting ready to make something happen through Laundry once more. That'll be the double door opened. And there's going to be pressure put from both sides. You can see that Lucan is going to push down Big Tower as well. So every piece of this puzzle is getting into position. Those resets no, though. The Deimos will back up the Blitz as well. Astro might initialize 1 versus 1 mode in a few moments' time. Lagonis changing which one of those FNATs to activate could be massive in the grand scale of things needed this round. The smoke grenade will buy some time in Freezer as well. Whip it, we're getting very close to the line.
You now know Fenrir's tucked inside of Chala. The death mark can arrive and it has done so. Astro has that live feed of information. Lagonis, though, will see the Deimos symbols moving across his map, but he can relay that at least one player is in Freezer. The now know 2 is there from the use of those Grimbees. 25. They have that Blitz available to them. Astro will dart all the way deep through the toxic fumes. Send out one more death mark and Lucan arriving from back tower. Everything set up to crash and collide with Liquid's defense from every possible angle. But Lagonis needs to hold his nerve and trust his team. Maya's good for 1, not a second 3 versus 3. But look at the time. Fluxo fall. Liquid take Oregon.
And that was what it took. Team Liquid trailing all game long. But the final 2 rounds of regulation, they take them to take their map. Somebody standing on a chair in celebration. The photographer getting photos of his team. But if you're a Fluxo fan, which I know there's a lot of in chat, I'm seeing tons of Fluxo copy pastas there. They are going to love what they have seen with it, because they showed they can go toe-to-toe with Liquid. And what I've seen in that map tells me they're more than capable of taking their own map pick on bank. But Liquid is 1 map away now from Manchester.
I've really enjoyed what I saw from Fluxo. Their attacks in particular look brilliant. I mean, time and time again, they were too much for Liquid to deal with round after round. Liquid found a way to bounce back from that. And Fluxo Nation fans, I see you. I'll play the bad guy. I'll play the heel. Liquid story to finish for this one. We'll go to a quick little break, and our desk will break that one down for you. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to the Blast R6 Last Chance Qualifier Grand Finals as we book this beautiful region's last spot at the Manchester Major in May. Team Liquid get off to a cracking start here. They take the first step towards securing that spot. Fluxo's Cinderella story is well and truly in jeopardy here. But I'll tell you what, C-Daps, it was much closer of a map than you might have expected.
Yeah, ultimately, the difference of one round, the 3-3 split going the way of Liquid on their attacks, going into just the kind of expected 4-2 split, was the only difference that we had in this game, and you could maybe argue one or two of those Liquid attacks could have gone the way of Fluxo. They put up such a better fight than I expected, especially on their attacking side.
Do you think that Liquid are showing them respect here? I think they are, and it's well deserved.
Yeah, this is a completely different Fluxo to what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, to say it was a rough around the edges kind of game against Black Dragons would be a bit of an understatement. It was hard to watch at times, but now Fluxo seems to be actually kind of playing normal. They aren't making these huge, massive mistakes. They aren't lucking into rounds. All of a sudden, they're just kind of applying a plan and it's working out. They're elevating their play to try to match Liquid as opposed to maybe Liquid going down and trying to match Fluxo.
One comparison that we compared going into the map was Nescampalu and Hashi and Astro. That's something I want to revisit here, C-Daps, and take a look at the numbers after map 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing to revisit the entirety of this series because Nescampalu definitely got the better of Hashi and Astro. However, it's a little bit more interesting that this game was somewhat close despite the fact that Nescampalu went absolutely crazy. So maybe the comparison isn't as strong, but overall, you know, it does just swing the right way, and Hashi and Astro do have a lot of work to do if they want to try to keep up with the duo.
One map potentially separates Liquid from, eliminating all of their previous bad form and booking that spot in Manchester. That is Bank, and of course that same map is in the way of potentially crushing the dreams of Fluxo here. How do you see Bank shaking out?
Bank shaking out, I think, once again, has got to go the way of Liquid. They've looked so strong on the map historically. And sure, once again, maybe Fluxo did beat Black Dragons yesterday, but during that series, it was rough. It was rough around the edges. I can't confidently say that Fluxo looked amazing on that map yesterday. Meanwhile, we have seen Liquid look great on this map. We have seen the return to the 2018 Ash ACOG Nescampalu era. And overall, once again, you got to give the edge. I think this is going to be a 2-0 for Liquid.
All right, it's been us two a lot on this show for a while, but seeing as it is our last day here in the LCQ, let's expand the desk a little bit. Let's bring in the boys, Gibson and Whippet, just for a bit of desk analysis here, guys. I know you probably want to rest your voice before getting back into map 2. Of course not, Gibson. I know you love this. You live for this siege stuff. Number one, are you surprised to have seen Fluxo in this position in the first place? And then to follow up from that, it looks like they're going to be putting on a performance here in this series at least.
Yeah, definitely impressed by everything that I've seen from Fluxo so far. They've been very impressive. I think that on their defense, there was one or two tiny little things that went the opposite way that if they hadn't, they probably would have been able to take that map. But all in all, when you consider the glow up from both of these teams, from where they were after after 3-4 play days at the start of Brazil, they are playing it complete. You wouldn't even recognize them if you were to watch back clips. So you got to give so much credit to both these teams.
Yeah, Whippet, it does feel like the culmination of a beautiful glow up for both of them, like Gibson said.
Yeah, I mean, for Liquid, Gibby put it perfectly. It's been a metamorphosis. They don't look like the same side that started off this stage. Fluxo have risen to this occasion, though. And listen, as much as I might play the villain for all the Fluxo fans in chat and all this, I do feel that we move towards Bank. It's going to be, I think, they went to this map for a reason. It could be a difficult day for Liquid as well.
Oh, you see, I know that Daps disagrees with that. He thinks this is going to be a 2-0. Gibson, which way are you leaning?
Because I'm casting, I want this to go all three maps. Just because I love it. I absolutely love it. But my inner Liquid fan wants a 2-0. But you guys have seen chat, right? There's so many Fluxo fans out there, so it would be a shame to deny them getting one map in this best of 3, right? Come on, C-Daps. Even you would be happy to see Fluxo take one of these.
Yeah, my heart would be happy because an overall a 3-map series would be a barn burner, but I'm just going to go by my logic. And you guys are still voting with your heart saying, oh yeah, Liquid fan, whatever. If you guys look at the numbers, if you look at how the play has with the eye test on Bank, Fluxo was rough around the edges, Liquid was clean and decisive. I think they get this out.
C-Daps, you're a realist, but I think deep down we all love an underdog story, right? So it would be nice here on the final day of LCQ to get that third and final map. Will it happen? Gibson, whip it. Please take us to bank and give us all the answers.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Connor. Well, whip it. We are the type of casters who vote for their hearts. We do the eye test more often than not. And the last time you and I casted Brazil LCQ final, our hearts told us NIP would get it. I've known since the very first day of the stage that you've said in your heart that Liquid would be at the Manchester Major. They are now just one map away from attending that event.
Don't say it, Gibby. Don't say it, because you'll have my heart set on seeing Liquid play live, and it will not happen if I even say it. If I cast or curse this team, I apologize to them. But I'm gonna be and say this. You might... Numbers are one thing, and Connor will probably be right. His prediction, Elo, is much better than mine will ever be. But Fluxo now, it is this map or their stage is done. They are a cornered animal in this moment, and that's when teams can be the most dangerous, or when they can roll over and concede, and that's really what I don't want to see. I want to see this side come out absolutely swinging. It's time to get in this one. Bank could be our very final map of the LCQ here in Brazil. Liquid versus Fluxo. How's it gonna go?
Well, I am all for a Fluxo map win here. Remember, when the rounds are chaos, Fluxo usually were the ones that took them. When it became a structured game of chess, Liquid came out on top. The ban phase begins as 2 attackers have been removed. 2 attackers who frequented almost every single round in some way, shape, or form. The Grim will be removed. Ying is removed as well. No surprise based on this map and what we've seen in the previous. Valk as well. But 3 of the operators that we saw in almost every round last time have been banned here. So it's something a little bit to do with the map that is bank, and it's also maybe a little bit counter-stranding to what they've seen last time around as well.
I do feel that Fluxo were a side that utilised Grim a little bit more, I think, to a higher benefit, higher yield of reward. So I think Liquid taking that away, a good shout for them. And you can never realistically argue too hard against the Valkyrie ban here on bank. Those cameras can give you a absolute spider web of information. You can shut down an offensive round very effectively. So these bans make a lot of sense to me, and I think, again, looking how the opening map went, it even corroborates that just a little bit more. But Fluxo on the defense here on bank, they'll be aiming for a 4-2 split. Ideally, that's what they need.
Oh, I agree 100%. A 3-3 split leaves too much wiggle room for Team Liquid on their defense. So, opening site, we're going to open area, so a change off the bat. Usually you'll see teams go down to basement to kick the game off. Now, what we'll see is the quad wall will be reinforced. Sometimes you see it being 3 of those 4 walls reinforced when Mira's in play. They're going to do all 4. They've opened up head holes looking in towards archives. But you feel like most of Fluxo's presence in the early stages of this game is going to be on that top floor. They'll have probably somebody playing inside Janitor. They'll have a player playing on that stock corridor with the stock walls reinforced. This is exactly what we're seeing, the Mira being in play. So for Team Liquid, you've got to clear them. You've got to find a way to remove all of this offensive utility. And I think that resets now on the Capitao is a great pick for clearing Janitor.
And those fire darts, not much you can deal with or do against them. That won't in effect either. You're realistically going to be stuck with them. You rotate the guy or to the captain to that position. It will be curtains early. They could begin to open up all these avenues that they want to get pressure on. They want to get that top floor control sooner rather than later. Second mirror window goes down, and resets will be in prime position to deny that mirror window. Realistically, you want someone who's going to be able to capitalize on Luka not having all the space they would have wanted. Someone needs to go and counter that position, but you just Selma charge, cracked it open, logic bomb goes out, and very quickly, I think very wisely, Luka drops down in the small office, retreats and concedes that top floor control.
Yeah, well, that's the Selma charge. Once you lose that mirror window, there's absolutely no point in playing inside of Janitor. So good decisions been made. Now we're seeing Hashi create that very favorable angle to peek from both the double door coming down from marble stairs and looking in towards square. So they've fallen back. They've fallen into, you always like to call it that onion peel defense, right? Where you fall back to your next level of the defense. That's exactly what they have done now. You've given Liquid top floor control, but still the sides are level, 5 kills apiece. Fluxo still on schedule for their defense.
While Liquid might have all the time in the world to work with, it's perhaps a little bit of a question mark around them as to how maybe they might be a little bit too leisurely sometimes with these rounds. One impact trick is good. Raps doesn't need to worry about the second one. That wall should stay reinforced for the defensive side. So that's a detrimental moment for Liquid now to deal with. Lots to clear still in this. You mentioned 10 players still standing, 5 on either side. Nesk might be the first to find that engagement. Inside Tellers. Will they present him an opportunity though?
Well, this is the thing. He's holding the head holes now. He's got all of that angle. The logic bomb will be deployed now as well, giving even more information. These attackers, the Flames, not really doing as much damage as they like, but Astro will be the first one to win an engagement. Down goes Nesk on the peak. Resets now needs to do a bit more work by himself as he'll smoke off the angle, and it looks like we're going to go all in on a drop and a push in the through printer. Palu's
Actually,
got a
Gibby,
1v1.
Palu is
Palu's
actually,
won it.
yeah.
I just seen it. Palu won his 1v1, but
Oh, look
okay, yeah. Floxo, 4 versus 1. Great start to them, and it's all down to Palu, who was my MVP of the last map. But Raps Floxo will take the final kill, and everything unraveled in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I thought Paulu was going to be able to act as that pressure relief valve as players begin to funnel in the site. He can pounce on the maybe overextending defense of Fluxo. But no, Liquid just couldn't make their one stick with Fluxo, and Luke had massive plays there. Mounted up and elevated on that table, meaning those fire darts that arrived from the window, and Printer couldn't deny him from his position. Had his goggles turned on as well to make sure any flashbangs to buy space were going to be ineffective. Smart play from Fluxo. Again, they've elevated their playstyle from what we saw in the LCQ so far to match with Liquid. They have been a problem so far. Early days on Bank, good showing on the defensive side right now.
And it's again what Fluxo need. We spoke about it. It's first round. They need that 4-2 half here on defense on Bank because it's very difficult whenever you leave the wiggle room of a 3-3. Now, Team Liquid, they'll have a different thing to deal with this time around. Look it on the castle. Very simple what Luke is going to do. Get rid of a lot of these angles from the windows. He will castle barricade that window on your screen right, looking towards the double, which will prevent that angle in through the door. Gives your defenders something more favorable if they want to fight there, 1 versus 1. But something we don't... What are they cooking with these, crouch holes on the stock? Usually those are the walls that are reinforced. This is I've not seen this on the menu before.
Nor have I. I mean, correct me, of course, if this has been something regular in the regular season of Brazil that they might have played or might have pulled out so far. I've not seen this from this side. Again, it's going to cause a difficulty for Liquid, though. These windows are going to be opened up, and the shield's going to enable the player to peek behind it. Not going to be the easiest day in the office. Resets down below will open up Kanto. Give themselves that line of sight, that long denial. That might be an issue to deal with that player that we were talking about out by stock. Astro on that Solace. Going to be a difficulty to deal with for Liquid.
Palu inside of ATMs already with the Capitao, and he's got the utility to clear elevator. Now we know there's nobody playing in there at the moment, but we all know things can change pretty quickly. They've got that rotate or the wall opened as well, so you've essentially got a cutoff that looks all the way down the corridor to stock. Now that might make the shield a little bit more difficult to play for Hashi, because as you can see now, he has to tuck right beside the vending machine. The closer he gets to the shield, the more likely that there'll be that long angle that can take him down from. Solace playing on the opposite side, inside of square. You'd think that a player shouldn't be able to play here, but with the Team Liquid attack being very focused on Monty pushing up through gold, Solace can do this. They reposition now onto the windows with it. Liquid speeding up this attack, but there he goes.
Oh,
no! Astro falls. Nesk is able to get the kill, but Maya will get traded on the other side. Palu gets his one, and Nesk finds another. It's a double, making a triple for him on the round, as Mitrix will get finished off by Lagonis. And it's all down to Mira. It's all down to Raps. I've seen things like this before. He ain't going to win.
No, the Monty staring him down, and will be recessed to get that final confirmation. Astro! Oh, no. The round could be won in that moment, but Nesk just too quick of the draw. Reactions of an old school player still as sharp as they were those moons ago. Finds that reactionary moment and saves the round. Big round for him individually. Big round from Liquid. Draw themselves level. You gotta feel, though, that jump out lands. The cover from the window isn't there. Could have been a very difficult round, but Liquid still posed so many issues. Walking up that Monty, putting pressure right on the front door of sight. Fluxo, descend all the way to the basement.
Gotta win those, Whippet. You gotta win those because Ness got a triple on the round then from the windows. Like, you got to hold that position. You make a little mistake like that, it just goes to show every single player, every single round is worth their weight in gold. And well, Astro, his stocks, they crashed. They plummeted just like he did out the window. They fell. Team Liquid level the sides up at 1 round apiece, and it'll bring the side swap once more. Whippet Liquid will be feeling pretty good after that one. Remember, we said the 4-2 split is vital, but basement can always be a very tough nut to crack.
Very intrigued what they want to do defensively here. Laser gates in play, an extra level of utility cleared required from Liquid. Monty yet again going to be a factor from them, so a level of a direct attribute here is what they'll probably go with. Luca has a hatch available to drop inside. They could have a lot of options to them just looking at this lineup. I have a feeling it might be a little bit more of a directed take. Control skylight already being gathered at the moment. Got lots of drones placed around the map, scouring, looking for information. Key for this one is going to be finding Lucid and dealing with that player. Warden instead of elevator is not going to be easy to clear. You normally use a flashbang to get yourself an advantage on that fight. He has the hatch to drop as well. So it could be a lot of wasting time if they don't catch him. I don't think they know he's there yet.
He sets on the window. They spot the information. Matrix's position is known, but the DMR makes him a threat. This position with the DMR is so important on that ramp because you can essentially kind of hold the walk-in through the rotate from servers as well, that no doubt the attacking side will at some point make. Now, Palu, playing on the buck, we've seen him very many times on this map play the verticality and then drop down that gold hatch and have some fun in that section of the map. So just keep an eye on how Palu elects to play this round, but we're a minute and a half there through. The hatches have, for the most part, been opened here, Whippet.
Have themselves avenues in towards site. Just curious to how they can begin to work through this now. Minute 18 remaining. Fire bolts available in the hands of Capital. The hatches mounted up with those laser gates won't be great to clear. Getting up a little bit more time, vital seconds, and as you mentioned, might be a chance to drop that back hatch. Might give them an option to get aggressive from it. Mitrix though, long line of sight, backed up by a DMR. Be a massive advantage.
But this is the thing, time is becoming a little bit of a problem. Mitrix still holds this valuable position inside of Garage as Liquid begin to toss the stun grenades in. Resets will take on the 1 versus 1. This could be huge in the round if they can gather control. Nest takes a ton of damage. He'll fall at the hands of Liquid. Resets continues to creep his way on up. Hashi is getting ready to swing, but Hashi, he falls. They were ready for a Palu. Find his kill as well. As Resets will now begin to clear ramp. Rap's in a battle with the player inside of elevator, but Liquid's there with the cover. Makes it a 3 versus 3. Fired bolts being thrown or sent into the distance as they get ready to push in with a Monty. Resets gets another. It's a triple for Resets as the case is going to go down. It's all down to the Mira once more. There's nothing they can do because Maya's there. Team Liquid take the lead, 2 rounds to 1 up on their attacks here on Bank.
The biggest thing in that round is going to be that utility from the crossbow in the hands of Capital. Fire darts going deep, meaning that rotation from lockers, you can't do it. Every critical gunfight was won by Liquid in that moment. Paulu and elevator, skeleton key goes out. Blasts away, wins that one. Gets Liquid the lifeline. Massive round from them, great usage of their utility. And the Monty has been such a great tool for them. Can Fluxo stem the bleeding now? Oregon was absolutely a nail-biter. Back and forth, no daylight found between these sides. Will Fluxo continue that and bring us level? Will Liquid begin to get some momentum here on Bank?
You just feel like if you give Liquid a 2-round advantage, it might just be unsurmountable here for Fluxo. They need to win this round. This is the only site that they were able to take all game long, and it was basically a flawless round as well because it just all came down to the one Liquid attacker pushing from inside of lobby side. So what do Liquid have in response? Ram will help them get a ton of verticality, as will the Buck. Monty being brought into play, we know how how effective Monty was in the previous 2 rounds. Maybe they'll find value out of that once more. Oh, you look at the setup. Matrix is playing the Mira once more. You've got your player playing inside of Janitor. And last time it was too easy. Nesk was able to deal with the player inside of Janitor. I'm looking at Fluxo and I don't see anything being brought to stop that from happening again.
I agree. They don't have anything to stop it, realistically. I mean, it's all well and good having the setup, but a single Ash charge, a Selma, 1 fire dart from a Capital if applicable. Okay, we spoke too soon! Lucan finds Nesk. This is what Fluxo needs. Opening engagement goes their way. Boogie sent in, will chew through the floor. All well and good, but with Lucan upstairs and Johnny, what does that do? Essentially nothing. Magonis blinded by fear, walking up Banana. He'll step up, he'll try and engage a one-on-one fight with the Warden. The hatch should be open. Lucan should be able to make a great dash of an escape. Poncho created. Boys, the idea, Paulo takes a beating, source unknown. I think the right call would be to retreat if I was Lucan right now.
Still, though, if Nesk had a peek from the other window with the Selma charge, you don't die as easily there. It's little things like that that can be a problem. Maya will eventually find Astro to bring us back to a 4 versus 4. Oh, Palu's taking a lot of damage. Matrix has as well. Playing now inside of Archives. Last time we saw a player in this position, they were swung and they fell to the hands of Liquid. So, minute 20, so you're still not massively off schedule here for Team Liquid. You've still got all the operators you need to create that verticality that will enable a hatch drop a little later on the round. You still need that extra pick. You've still got to give yourself a man advantage, so when you try that send through the hatch, you can play the trade game effectively. Even if they get one of you, you've still got a Neville numbers.
Going to use that can opener, close proximity impact trick should go out, should be good for it, and it is. And Liquid had to deal with this last time out with the Selma charges, and well, this time, they're good for it. Impact trick just a fraction late, patched up by the Zami Kibas though. Limited utility to clear that, it is vulnerable to melee, but you don't want to waste this time. They'll likely know where Exami is, head revealed, but you can't pounce on that moment, Amaya! Should be a freebie, Raps gets it. And Monty alone, no one's gonna back it up. Paulo needs to get on that front line position. Knowing one player is close right, one will be behind the kitchen counter. So many angles for Paulo to deal with, and the DMR not the ideal weapon for it. Swaps towards that SMG and a flashbang for cover, but Lagonis left in DBNO. Resets need to save this day. Paulo gets one, but it's simply not going to be enough for this one as Foxo collapse. They bring us level yet again.
Same story. Playing this site, it all comes down to one Liquid player trying to push from lobby side. Yes, they changed it up. They pushed through square instead of going for what was an attempted hatch printer push. But Fluxo stand strong. They've only won that site on back. Things are going to change up. We're going back to basement. When last time we came here, Liquid won it pretty comfortably with a very late push at the end of the round, leaving it all down to the Mira playing on the back side. So, what have Fluxo done this time to change things up? Well, they've made a couple of changes. Mira is not being utilized this time. Castle is being brought. The cap can being brought in by Hashi. Whip it. Who's getting cap can? Who's going to trip over one of those laser mines?
Are you making me make a prediction for this one?
Yeah.
Might break my heart. Nesk. Nesk could be the one to follow the Capcan trap
IQ?
today. Yes. Oh yes,
Right.
the poetic. The irony. Poetic Gibson.
But here's the thing, right? And we and you've watched a lot of Siege this stage. The
Yeah,
amount of
we
times
have.
we have seen IQ die to utility, defensive utility. Like, it's not even funny. Echo drones being impactful, Capcan traps.
Don't remind me about that day in Latam. Where IQ...
What day? What day? Exactly. What day?
Exactly. Thank you for that one. Well, I mean, Hashi will put those traps out by elevator, and it's a pretty common spot, hopefully, that they do detect them in that moment. But of course, if Liquid do let the clock begin to wear down on them a little bit, could be a factor moving into it. I did predict Nesk to find that one, so hopefully he'll use his wrist-mounted scanner to be able to detect that one. Jones go out, Astro has been detected. He's got a hatch drop as well available. Should be able to retreat when that pressure arrives. And advise him forward as well. Rotations into office. Lots of movement available on that middle floor, but Liquid, hopefully they can get themselves the opening engagement in this round. Needs to go their way, realistically.
Worry here a little bit for Liquid, though. Palu's usually the one that enters from the ATM side, and Nesk, he's on the opposite side of the map as he pushes in top square. So, will Palu on the book, you can see he's going to change it up, though. Looks like he's going for the repel on the windows this side of the map. But Astro, inside of Archives will be a player that they need to clear. So Nesk, wanting out the FNAT. If there's an FNAT there, right, he knows there has to be a defender in the vicinity as well. You do not put an FNAT there if you don't want to get in a fight. And oh no, he manages to cross, but Maya will find the opener. Astro getting his toe shot. Him and Hashi playing as a 2 will fall back. But for Team Liquid, they're ahead of schedule. Nesk almost losing his head to look at inside blue. But Palu finds Raps. Reposition here. Astro on the move. Whip it if I'm Liquid now. Who's on site? There's virtually no site presence here from Fluxo, and if they realize that, they could go direct.
I believe it's only Luca on site right now, but Astro is blinded. I think his position's been compromised. Hashi gets 1. Liquid, it was such a good round. It might fall apart here, it might do. Hashi with 2 in the round. 3 versus 3. Liquid still got the keys to the castle. Site is exposed. The case seemingly down cold. Resets drops in. Astro falls. Luca with the ACOG finds 1. Paulu's off the board. Liquid can't find daylight. It will be a triple in the round. Now Resets alone. Lots of time. Drops in. Does he have the case? Shoulder baits out for 1. No, someone's in lockers. Not unwinnable, but it will be with the hands of Lucan. Fluxo take the lead on your own bank.
And you know what? I said that in that round, I was like, there was nobody on site apart from Luca. This could be Liquid's round to win. But credit Fluxo. They held their roam. They backed themselves on the aim. Now, it might be because of the fact they couldn't fall. They had no avenue of retreat because there was someone playing on square. And they had to go towards lobby, so they took on the fight and they won it. But they did what they had to do. Fluxo take the lead. We talked about the importance of getting a 4-2 half. Well, now they're on the verge of doing so. 3-2 up. Final round on defense for them. It'll be a top floor defense. What are Liquid going to do? Last time, the whole round fell off the back of Astro jumping out the window and absolutely whiffing on Nesk. Will the same thing happen? 20 seconds or so, 15 seconds for Liquid to lock in their attackers. And no move for Monty just yet because I think they feel maybe Lightning can't strike twice.
I have to agree. I was holding my breath just a little bit, make sure there was no Monty choice coming out. I mean, Lagonis has been on that shield every single time for Liquid, and it's realistically not worked out to the biggest benefit of this side. So a pick on towards that Dokkaebi. That will promote Pollard on AK-12, at least in the hands of Ace. Keeper barriers placed to hold from that window. Commitment of a far back hold inside of couches, as well as pressure and Johnny. Shield set up this time, a more traditional one out towards Stark, and Astro begins to place every piece of the puzzle around. He's got so much cover to work with. That's a lot of utility for Liquid to clear.
Lots of cover, and definitely, as you pointed out, a lot for Liquid to clear. Although, I would argue, would not like Azami to be in charge of redecorating anywhere. I'd want to live with some of these choices, but they'll be effective if you're trying to defend. Hashi, change up here. Last time, we saw them reinforce the left wall of Stock and play the shield looking towards Stock. This time, they've gone for a more standard style of setup, which will, I think, work out much better for them. Lagonis will start tossing in the flash grenades, but Whippet, you know as well as I do that it's a waste. It's Warden. But by bucking below, it prevents the swing. So pre-fire from Hashi, the wall now is going to get breached, and that works out perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. Palu is able to force the opener on the round.
Palu, the benefactor of that well-laid plan. You mentioned buck below, stops the swing, no impact grenade, freebie for Liquid realistically. Death Mark goes out, hunting down the Azami. And a Vendetta down below is a very scary thing to deal with. Soft floors are very, very easy to chew through with that caliber. Azami's found a safe enclave to sit for now. Begins to ride out that clock. Salma charges go out towards Kanto. Choose that open. Luca takes a little bit of damage on a skeleton key down below. Might find even more. Maya's hunting. He senses someone above him. Can't get that confirmation, but it's a dangerous gamble. Finds him with the shotgun. Liquid leads 5-3 in terms of player.
Desk on the windows once more, though. This was the problem for Fluxo last time around. Resets is repositioned as well as 3 Liquid players line up on the windows now as they try to find the next kill. This is still in the balance. Yes, the numbers are in favor of Fluxo, but if they get one kill, one important kill, things could go the other way. Player tucked close to Banana. This is a player that Liquid need to be wary of as they start clearing those Selma charges. Resets is going to repel in. Could the kill come through? Raps is there. Raps falls. Mitrix will get a trade onto Palu though, but Nesk is on the windows. Down goes Astro, leaving it all down to the Aruni, but Resets the Vendetta with the headshot to get us another 3-3 half.
Resets, absolutely huge. Critical engagement on that rappel. Has the death mark on the player. It's sitting in Aqua. Is able to use that big iron to fire away. Gets that locked in. Liquid go level yet again. How similar are these two maps playing out, Gibson? Both ended 6 rounds played, 3 rounds apiece for both these teams. I have a feeling, just a sneaking one, that might be a little bit of an overtime in our future. Fluxo have looked clinical on their offense. They've been able to bamboozle Liquid time and time again, especially on Oregon that we saw earlier. Can they have that success yet again? Luke got a rapid pick away from that Flores on towards that buck. It will be the basement site from Liquid. First time asking on round number 7.
Well, I gotta agree with you. Overtime could very much be the case here on Bank, which, you know, has seen a lot of attacking round wins over the course of the stage. It is a map that is closer leaning to being attacker favored. Based on the eye test scores, you know, Whip it now. We don't delve into the stats to read you out all the infinite percentiles and stats. We go by what we see on the server. And I feel like Team Liquid, they've got to be very careful here, because even though they got 3 rounds on attack, Fluxo have shown that they can be very good on their attacks. Now, here's the thing. ACS 12 on the Maestro, playing inside of Big Garage. That thing strikes fear into everybody across all levels of play. But is he going to get any value out of it? Because to me, Maestro is very useful when it pops, when it comes to the later games, later stages of these rounds on the basement.
Again, Maestro is all well and good, but the Bravo's in play. I think they might already have one of those hacked as well, Gibby. Taken away. Would be unfortunate to lose one so early. But Strong goes out. Normally we'd see a Goyo canisters be a little bit extra vulnerable here. But they got that information. They know someone's lurking on the blue stairs. It will be Paulu. Shotgun in hand. Barbed wire ahead of him.
Shotgun on shotgun.
Oh,
shotgun
super
on
short.
shotgun.
You never want to bet against Paulu, though. Flashbang's good. Paulu should be a freebie. Confirmed by Raps. There's that 1-for-1 trade. That's 3 toxic canisters brought to the grave.
That's... You know what? You take that. That's a death you're willing to take. And there's another kill from Lukid, who catches Nesk on the retreat, getting ahead of the defenders as they try to fall back. And now they've got full control of servers and square. This could be a problem now for Team Liquid. Maya, Resets, and Lagonis are still alive. 2 C4s they're able to utilize as well. But Mitrix, very valuable player for the side. Those firebolts will be able to clear red and make the tossing of the C4 more valuable. Oh, Whip it. Had this conversation, pointed out. Sometimes it's worth standing in the fire dart if you're going to get the kill from the C4. That is a decision that Liquid need to make, considering they're down on numbers.
Dangerous gambit. Considering that they're already players down, Gibby. Again, desperate times call for desperate measures. Astro rotates. This will be out towards sewer. Get himself in the server room. Drones being placed by Mitrix and are beginning to formulate the plan of what they want to do. Hatching vaults open up. Are Liquid aware of that one? The mirror should see that drone and does so. Denies it. Luca begins to make rotations around and Liquid will begin to feel that pressure. Mitrix now posted up, ready to try and deny this as the Evil Eye gets some stuns out towards Raps. Look at this angle. With a drum of war, the ACS 12 in the hand of Resets finds one. Mitrix only gets a little bit of damage, tapping the shins of the player out by red. That Evil Eye is going to be a problem now. Look at the time, Gibby. 15 seconds, gone 6 goes. And I think Liquid, if they hold their lines, they can't deny this case going down. Is the cover going to be good enough? Resets gets one more of his name. Drop from Mitrix, shut down. And Resets goes huge. Liquid take their very first defense in the second half of Bank.
The ACS-12, you spoke about the drum of war. Well, that wasn't even a war. That was just a destruction of that push from Fluxo at the end of the round. And you think back again, losing the player on the hatch, not getting the kill to the player on red was very, very detrimental for Fluxo. Liquid though, Whip it. I know that you're on the same side of this as me. They got lucky there in a way. They should not have won that round from the scenario Fluxo found themselves in. But best teams always find a way. The sign of a good team, Whippet, is not winning the rounds, you know, winning rounds that are clear. It's winning the rounds that you shouldn't.
You can win a scrappy one. When the odds are stacked against you and your back's against the wall, massive sign the team able to punch well above their weight. Liquid's defense moves upstairs all the way down towards office and lounge. Question is, how do we see Fluxo approaching this? The shield gets picked onto. They commit, they lose that ace choice on the Astro, move it on the Mitrix. Monty, massively beneficial for these teams. I feel works a little bit better if you want to walk up those lobby spiral staircase, get control of Banana, put that direct pressure on. So expect control being wanted inside of lobby. Pressure from windows will directly be applied to make sure cutoffs are denied. Someone will likely want to hold Kanto for a little bit as well. That will probably be Mitrix. Hollow, Janitor, mirror window mounted up and ready. Everything set up for this one. The Claymores, oh so important against any team who might be daring to jump out.
Well, as long as they don't have aim like Astro, I suppose, where you jump out and you don't even get your one.
You cannot do Astro that dirty, Gibson.
Astro should have got us one. Like that. Like this should be 4-3 if Astro had not have whiffed on that situation. But that's in the past. Let's focus in on the present. What are Team Liquid going to face from Fluxo this time around? You assume that those Selmas will be utilized to open up that Kanto wall. For those of you maybe newer to the game, that's the wall by elevator that gives you the long line of sight down towards stock. In doing so, you create a cutoff point that if there's a player playing inside of elevator or if there's a player in stock, they should not be able to rotate back towards sight. But the other problem they're going to have is the mirror window. And once more, they've got the answer. The Ash Liquid is able to clear that mirror window inside of Janitor to force the defender to peek based on just audio cues alone. There's one of those Ash charges utilized already.
Player in the elevator. Lagona's going to be a massive problem for Fluxo in this moment. Again, he's on that Fenrir. He can swap what FNATs are active or not. There's no one there to hold him. There's no one there to act with pressure in combination with your Monty. So right now, Astro is stuck on the island of irrelevancy. Can't do too much in this round. And Fluxo, similar to what we saw on a map like Oregon, poking, probing from a variety of angles. They've walked up. Now, well, Castle, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare for you. Shut down. Flurry of kills. Liquid do come off worse from where, but Maya goes huge, forcing us on a 1 versus 1. Hashi versus Maya. LMG versus SMG. Who has the information? Nade goes out. Might buy space, might force a reaction. They now know where everyone is. The case is cold, no win condition applicable. Castle Barrier stays as Ami swings. Maya shut down. Hashi gets that confirmation. And Fluxo get themselves their first offensive round here on Bank.
And they needed that one. Do not let Liquid continue to extend the lead. Fluxo level the sides at 4 rounds apiece once more. It was chaotic, it wasn't clean, but it was effective. Fluxo winning their attack. So, open area. I'm going to say area Berta. I'm going to take the risk that that means open area. If I'm wrong, well, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'm right for once.
You were not wrong for a change, Gibson. Well done.
Right for once, thank you. I appreciate it.
What, Gibby? It feels like a little bit of deja vu, doesn't it? Yet again, we're 8 rounds played, 4-4 our scoreline. Liquid, Fluxo, perfect dance partners for each other, pushing each other to the limit every single round, trading blows back and forth in this matchup. No one can really find daylight. Who can find that breakout moment? Who can string 2 rounds together? Neither side's been really clear.
You know as well as I do, though, that we want this to go to overtime. A 3rd map on a Siege Sunday? Yes, please. So, yeah, that... I like the idea.
What is he cooking? Nesk. Listen, Nesk, I understand that everyone's mentioned how we feel like you rolled back the years. This might be a little bit too brave, and considering that no one's there, I think not the wisest of choice for the veteran player, and hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully we don't hear that impact off in the distance. Obviously, Fluxo beginning to move out towards the map.
Could be the biggest bait you've ever seen, though, because if he does go out, no defender is going to expect, or no attacker is going to expect the defender to impact their own castle barricade and go out. But I feel like I still see the silhouette. He's still there. So I think he's got an internal timer as to when he's going to fall back. And I feel like, yeah, now is that time. Little damage dealt on to Paolo, who's pretty lucky not to lose his life there through the wall bang. And he's trapped now from that cutoff. So Paolo will need to play inside of the elevator for now on. But Whippet, with the castle barricade being there inside of lobby, it's not necessarily the word. Right, what is this angle?
Stop it!
What
Stop
are you-
peeking. Liquid, don't do it.
No.
Please, no! Nesk, no! Behave! You have to finish the story in Manchester if you make it there. Don't be peeking that. Good.
Yeah, the best thing about that Whippet too is, for those of you watching at home, pro players don't get kill cams. If you die in pro play, you just die. So if you die there, you're like, huh? Where have I died from? You'll watch back the VOD and you'll go, what a rat, is what you'll say. Mitrix, though, will reposition, uses soft breach charge to open up that printer window, which gives the defenders something more to think about. They've got vertical control, they've got tons of verticality onto the site, and they've got Monty getting ready to go for the plant. Now, Monty will fall first, which should safely allow the next attacker to fall as well. Maya is playing that first point of contact, and if he needs to, he'll drop the hatch and reposition himself. But Astro has the case to ready. Look at this weapon. He's opened up the desk so that he can see the drop. It's actually very clever from Maya in this scenario, and you can see the Fluxo are just waiting for the signal to drop.
Lagonis has that C4 primed and ready. Nesk holds control of metal detectors as well. Again, the drop here might be catastrophic. C4 should be good. No! And Raps is there for Maya. Nesk has 2 impacts to use, but it won't be enough, and he'll find the pressure arriving. Monty can stand there menacingly, but denied from above. Nesk will get that confirmation, and Fluxo seemingly running out of steam. Need one more engagement to go their way. Apollo's phone betrays him. 20 seconds can be an eternity in Siege. That case is cold. Luca needs to push behind that flashbang, but it might be a bait to trigger the ascension of Paulo. To get him in a trap, but Paulo's too quick on the draw. 2 in the round. Mitrix needs to win his 1, gets a freebie, but time will be the enemy, denied by Nesk, and it's all but over now. Nothing to do but count another round for Team Liquid.
Oh, that's another close one for Fluxo, but really well played by Team Liquid. They held their nerve, they didn't forget what their jobs were, and they did their job. They are now 1 round away from map and series point. Fluxo need this round desperately. They've done so good, and what they're going to do, so I'm going to use it the bit one more time. This is what we call in Brazil an Intero timeout. It's not on your screen right now, but the orange bar says Intero timeout. He is co-streaming, so he might not be able to answer your phone call to give you the advice that you need to win this round. Whippet, if it was a Whippet timeout, not an Intero timeout, what would you be telling Fluxo right now?
Well, honestly, if they're calling me for advice, I would say it's already over if you're asking me. So, unfortunately, unfortunately for them, I wouldn't be. But right now for Fluxo, I think realistically, their game plan is still going well. It's not been a difficult position, considering that it's been back and forth. No one's found daylight. Liquid did get a combination 2 rounds, back to back in 2 and 3. But again, just keep to what you're doing. It's working. Maybe try and sharpen up and get the opening engagement. Maybe try just a little bit more reactionary play. I don't know, Gibby. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I yap for a reason.
You were a coach once upon a time, though, were you not?
No, I was an analyst.
You were an analyst. Oh.
Yeah, and you know how poorly I can count, so you can imagine how long that lasted. It's the reason I cast, Gibson.
You were here in the room with the team, right, guys? I know I'm the analyst, but I'm an eyes guy. I go with what I see, not with what I read.
I know the eye. Listen, the eye test is telling me that we should do this. Never works. Yeah. So,
You're a braver man than I. God forbid
Exactly.
anybody asks me for siege advice.
Exactly. But going into this, the Liquid now do lead to get themselves that 1-round advantage that we've seemingly found these teams trading off this time. Fluxo, this is their map choice, of course, so they'll likely have something figured out for it. Hopefully, they can find that magic coming into it and bring us level yet again. If they do so, that will mean that yet again, all 12 rounds will be needed with insider regulation to get out Victor. And of course, for everyone watching and everyone's new to the stream, winner of this matchup gets their ticket to the Manchester Major. To go and play in front of all the UK fans, the passionate fans. We might not be as loud as Brazil, or we'll just be just as passionate.
They'll be loud, but in a different way, right? As simple as that. Anybody who knows the fans in the UK know that it will be an event that you want to go to. Make sure you get there. I think there was another limited run of tickets, so they may be available. Tell you what's not going to be available is those Twitch drones, as resets will find that opening kill with the TCSG inside of Garage. Remember, we spoke about how important this position was. Want to point out that with the okay, there we go. There's the player killed. Hashi is just going to walk on, and he gets himself a double. He drops down to low HP. The nade will force Lagonis out of position, but Maya's going to swing. Maya finds one, but he's traded back the other way. Can Lagonis now trade his fallen comrade? No, Palu can. Now you can get Maya back on his feet. All down to Luca and Mitrix. Luca drops the hatch. The beeper goes off, but Maya was there and waiting. Palu gets the final kill. Team Liquid now 1 round away from Manchester.
Oh, so important for this side. One of the most difficult to watch beginnings to a stage for any side. A difficult group stage for this roster. They found the pieces. But can they put it all together? One more round here on Bank. Fluxo, everything comes down to this. Your season, your exceptional run, going through the entire LCQ so far. All comes down to this. Top floor attack here on Bank.
Well, one thing going Fluxo's way is top floor has been pretty successful for the attacking sides in this map so far. Now, both sides have approached it very differently. Fluxo won it with a 1 versus 1 at the very end, where I believe it was Mitrix playing on the Finca that was able to win the round out in that 1 versus 1 with the Azami. So, round number 11. This is it. Team Liquid know all they gotta do is hold this one out, and they'll be going to Manchester. Or do Fluxo have another round in them? Do they have another chance? Do they have a bit more fight left? We find out now whether they're going to go out with a whimper or whether there's some fight in this dog.
I don't know how I feel about that analogy, Gibson.
Oh yeah, because you whip it, and Whippet's a dog, yeah.
No, okay, yeah.
Just for context, Whippet barks during breaks.
Okay, fair enough. Did Twitch chat need to know that? Don't think they did.
Did I need to know that? No, but I do.
Listen. It's how I get. It's a vocal warm up. Get myself in the mood. Anyway, Nesk inside of stock. All the cover needed behind those Kiba barriers, but Luke has the perfect tool to deny them. Sends in that Rotera drone. I think fearing a Fenrir gadget above the door frame. It was so as well. The Nesk has one less line of defense to keep him in play. Still, a massive time sink for this team. Need to clear him. Have a crossfire held if he does retreat out of that position, but he can keep making that position more and more tenable while those Kiba barriers recharge. Paul in a late round addition towards that janitor setup, a mirror window facing towards that double window. Luca continues to drive those drones in, looking for a way to get Nesk out of stock.
This is very, very important for Fluxo now. Every single move that you make has even more scrutiny and importance on it. Botero's being utilized to get rid of the Kiba barriers, but Nesk will hold his position. Astro just cannot get the angle that he wants, as Nesk now will step his way further inside of stock. Angle being held. Nesk gets himself into the first gunfight now with Lukid, who needs to win it. Lagonis will find his one. Nesk does a ton of damage, but takes some in return as Lukid will trade it back. 4 versus 4. Reset's holding the long angle. Square is open. You can see the mirror window is no longer going to be impactful on the round as well, but Lagonis will rotate up marble stairs. Lion scans in position. Maya getting ready for the peak. Maya swings, but Palu will find Raps on the other side. Lukid will trade it back as he steps in the generator. Resets, finds another. Whip it, it's a 2v2.
45 seconds, lots of time to work with, but Lukid is wounded. But he might get the perfect read. The pre-fire reveals his position, and Lagonis doesn't need a swing. Yash, out in Aqua, separate from his teammate right now. Resets holds that position, flashbangs go out, but look at this! He's fully blinded! Does the Ash know? Do they know? No, they don't! Resets finding 2! Lukid, it's all down to you! The season rests upon your shoulders, overtime or bust. 2 versus 1! 1 versus 1. Spots
No
the
way!
castle. Are you kidding me? They stay alive. Overtime or bust.
Oh my god. Not for the first time this matchup, Liquid stands up when he is needed most. This is it for Fluxo. Your whole season, your whole stage, your whole summer lies on this round. Can you bring Liquid to overtime on your map? Or will Team Liquid be on that flight in a few weeks' time? Just about 5 HP for Liquid, but it doesn't matter. He got the double. Open area will be the final site and regulation of this map. Will it be the final site of the stage for Fluxo?
Everything down to this. Could you ask for a better story to tell, Fluxo? A run through the LCQ that no one expected. The underdog story leading to a grand final against the veterans of Liquid. And they've shown just how good they are. Not been able to find a victory on Oregon, but all 12 rounds needed. Similar story yet again here on Bank. All down to this. The next 2 minutes decide the fate of this roster. Overtime or bust.
That situation we've seen time and time again. Palu gets himself on a very dirty angle holding marble stairs. The extension onto the top floor is the one that we'll usually see. A little caveat though, this time the mirror windows looking towards janitor, not looking in towards office. But Hashi is getting ready. Oh, is this going to be fast? They've opened up the angle. They could be about to rush into sight, and they do. Raps gets the opener, but Palu trades it back. Hashi in the middle of sight. He's able to find resets. 3 versus 4. It's a scramble defense. Matrix pulls up from base, but he'll find Palu, and they have caught Liquid sleeping. The case is going down. It's a retake from Nesk and Maya. But what a decision by Fluxo. They are taking us to overtime with it. Here we go.
All the way. Every single round of regulation, not enough to find a victor. Fluxo found a way back, and they are here. Overtime has arrived, and rightfully so. This team has absolutely battled tooth and nail to get here. 3 rounds remain in this map, and by the time they are finished, we will know if Liquid is going to phase 1 of Manchester, or if we're going to one more map, which will be Clubhouse.
It is a Sunday. This is Siege. We need 3 maps. What is a grand final of LCQs if it's not going to go all the way? Team Liquid on attack now, on Bank, to try steal Fluxo's map away and get those tickets to Manchester. Fluxo, they did what they had to do. They won back-to-back attacks at the end of their attacking half to force overtime when it all looked over. Team Liquid, are you able to get this attack done? Lagonis will switch over to the Monty with the case at the ready. Now, there's a couple of things they can do. They can try to force push in through electrical in towards site by getting the case down behind the restaurant bar, but they can go for the hatch drop where you see Hashi standing. Liquid will diagnose this themselves. They'll have a look at this defense and they'll see which one suits them best. But that is basically on the basis that they are able to get control of the top floor, to get these angles, because Fluxo are on the move.
Mental warfare a factor in this round though. Liquid had this matchup locked in. They had their ticket booked. Let's see how they find a way. Break this down. Cautious of an aggressive peek from the window. Lagonis back on that shield, and it's been a long day in the office for him so far. But perhaps this might be the solution that they need. Yes, with that Salma charge, sends it in, will clear that mirror window. Should force that player out of Johnny. He'll fall back towards site. An effective use of clear.
Lagonis now makes his way up to the top of gold as they try to establish control on the top floor. He sets in his position now. You look at Fluxo, they've already sent a lot of their defenders back towards the site, giving Liquid control of the top floor. And not only that, Liquid will start to take control of the round. Palu in basement will fight the kill. More importantly, if Palu gets that phone, if he gets those cams, you're giving even more information now to Team Liquid as Astra will fall. You know what that also means, Whippet? That means that all the FNATs that are activated are going to stay that way. They cannot change them.
Everything's locked in. They can't reallocate their use of fear and Liquid. This is the moment that they've struggled with before. They might have all the control, every piece of the puzzle. But Luca has been so difficult to clear, they don't have an option for it. Skeleton Key from Maya begins to chew through what they still have to access inside of stock. Look at the angle from Hashi. Deep inside of archives and tellers. Not a lot you can do with that one if you're not aware of it. And Raps had 3 goo mines in back pocket, sending them out. Late round reallocation of utility as Lagonis might fall victim to those goo mines lurking at his feet.
Lagonis knows he's pointing them out, but he doesn't want to retract that shield, as he knows exactly where Mira is now with a C4 in the back pocket. But Mitrix holds his ground. He kills the player below. The hatch drop is there, but down he falls. 3v3. Lagonis with the case in the back of sight. You look at the defenders. They've got 1 C4 and 1 impact to utilize to try prevent this plant, because Resets will hold the cross. Nesk is going to rotate the other side. Resets gets 1. Hashi trades it back, but Nesk, he's going to go prone. He catches out 1. The case should go down now, and it does. It's all down to Raps now to try keep the advantage in the favor of Fluxo. Monty will continue to move, to dance, to keep on his way. All he's got to do with it is stay alive long enough for vertical control to be re-established by Nesk.
Surely there's no way back into this one for Raps. A shotgun trying to use that spread and dispersion to get anything to connect, but Lagonis does his job perfectly. It's a dance with the devil and a gambit you'll never win. Blinded by fear, and it looks to be the similar story yet again. Liquid move to map and series point here on Bank. They find a way time and time again. And an exercise in futility denied by Lagonis, who finds his 2nd kill in the matchup. Liquid once again on series point.
Oh, this is a big round. Liquid have already lost 2 map points. Is it going to be 3rd time lucky, or will we have 15 rounds as Liquid now use their opportunity to call Intero for the time out? Whippet, as much as you and I hate to admit it, Liquid have a history when it comes to situations like this, of making a mistake, of overextending, of giving a round away. They know that their fate is in their hands on the defense here against Fluxo. It sounds simple. Win your defense, book your flight. Are they going to do it, or will Fluxo use this timeout to their advantage to cook up another special like that rush we had in the previous match point that was in play? Or will Liquid be booking that 1st class ticket?
All the pressure on these teams now. This round has so much value to both these rosters. 3 minutes that can decide the fate of these teams. Fluxo, they can build their legend, begin to have a foundation of what could be monumental careers. They can get themselves a ticket to Manchester. I know it's sole 1 more map in the series they need to win if they get there. For Liquid, expectations of greatness weigh heavily upon their shoulders. Fans across the world, myself included, expect these players to be in the top echelon of teams. Can they make that expectation come true? Or do Fluxo have 1 more round in them? Round 15 or bust. All on the shoulders now.
Well, but if they've got 1 more round in them, it means they've got 2, because we'll get 15 in regulation. So, Fluxo, they've got shield. They're bringing Monty, that man mountain, into play. Palu played this position last time around. He got his 1, but as we mentioned, he went down playing his smoke without utilizing every single one of them. Will he be more effective this time around? Raps catches the ladder on the way down, but If they get in behind Palu here and they get pressure on top square, this could be a pretty easy pick for him to be able to garner.
Barbed wire should give away that position. Paulu should hear that. Mai is there on the cover. Pressure from Electrical arriving as well. That will be the buck. Maya's job so important, but he loses the one. Raps needed that one. Paulu forced into a difficult position. Might need to retreat all the way. Lagonis on that echo. Yokai drones might be enough to get rid of that shield for the brief moment it's needed. Nesk will stand up to the mantle. Next one to go one-on-one with Raps. The ACOG below. Owes that angle. The Monty's such a prevalent threat in this round. 2 bodies stacking up and Raps retreats all the way. Team Liquid, 1 player down, wounded. Perhaps a little bit shaken too.
The hyper fixation and focus though that they've put on Dirt at the moment does allow the rest of Fluxo to get to work on the other sides of the map. By opening the hatch, you force the defenders that have played inside server to give up that space. The rest of Fluxo opening up the most important hatches of these rounds. Hashi still holding Palu. But I do hope that Palu doesn't peek. Astro will take some damage. Astro, he'll get Palu. Mitrix gets resets. It's a 5v2. Make it a 5v1. There's the killer ball, but it's a 1 versus 4 now. Lagonis is in the spot. He's being pushed from all sides, but with Monty still alive, they should be able to get the case down. You asked the Fluxo have another round in them with it. Well, they most certainly do.
They have delivered and they found it, Gibson. 14 rounds, simply not enough. 15 is needed, maximum overtime deployed. The things that I do for this to be infinite, but it comes down to this. A 1 round shootout on bank. Does Liquid make the major, or does Fluxo stay alive? The Fluxo Nation, I know you'll be hyped in chat for this one. Your team has battled hard, proven their worth time and time again. Liquid, pressure is on. A history of fumbles. A story of second places. Surely not again.
Well, we always say it, as much as things change, things stay the same. History oft repeats itself. Can Team Liquid win this final? Fluxo, they have almost won their map. They're 1 round away from taking us all the way to Clubhouse, that fundamental map of Siege. Try to separate these 2 sides, or will Liquid be able to flow through them on this final attack of the game, of the map, potentially of Fluxo's series? Top floor will be the site, a site that's had so much advantage for the attackers this game. The attackers have had an absolute field day when they've been attacking here. Uh-oh, NA Kiba barrier.
Ah, you said it for a change this time. That's the only my thing, Gibson.
I was talking that time, so like I had to use
fair
it.
enough. Normally, you're more polite to North America.
I'm an SSG fan, you know this.
So am I. Exactly. The one NA team that gets the pass. So, moving into maybe Emery, because it's mostly European these days. So, Team Liquid on the offense so far. Fluxo being solid on their defense as well, but it's been more of an attacking frenzy for both these teams. All down to this upstairs site of choice. The opening engagement might spell disaster for whoever finds it, or whatever team suffers it, I should say. Liquid, with feeling they might slow this way down. They might be super risk adverse. They might not want to make a single mistake. That might be their unraveling as well. They might slow down too much.
Oh, this is so tense. This whole game lies on this one for Fluxo. Resets on the window, as is Nest. Lookit is playing pretty close to it for the defenders. Let's remember what happened previously in this matchup. Those Renegades are in the position. They're there for a reason. Nest will be the first one as Lookit will fall. Palu holds the long angle from the distance here for Team Liquid. But can they clear? Yep. I hear that noise too, chat. It's not just you at home. But Maya will get to work. Nesk finds another one onto Astro, as he's only 8 and 11 in this game, but every kill he's had has had an impact. Raps Inside of elevator, spots the Monty. Ness gets a triple. No way are Liquid going to do it like this. Raps takes down his shield, but there he goes. Raps will take down Lagona's 4v2 though. It's still advantage Liquid. Nesk is still in the position. Whip it. The execute has to come now. It's a 3v1. It's all down to Raps.
Raps against 3. Can't do a single thing. Liquid are Manchester bound. Once again, they have an opportunity to prove themselves on an international stage. It didn't make it easy. They gave us heartbreak after heartbreak in this LCQ. They made us worry. They made us scared, but they get the job done. But Fluxo, what a performance from this side. Exceptional run. They couldn't get it done against Liquid. They take the victory here in overtime, and they take that ticket to Manchester.
Oh, that was so close for Fluxo, but Liquid take it into... Just for all the viewers at home, last time Whippet and I casted Brazil LCQ's NIP made it all the way to the main stage in Copenhagen. I've seen chat, people are saying Liquid or wash. People are saying change this team. Do not rule them out. Halfway through the season, they found the magic. They reclaimed it, and they have made their way to Manchester through the LCQs. Do not write off this team. But we're going to bring back in Ian and CDAPS to break down what was a phenomenal performance from Liquid over the 2 games. Ian, Honor, what a game.
Better finale to this last chance qualifier here in Brazil. And Liquid finished their story. Fluxo, what a run it was for you. It was a Cinderella type run until the very end, an overtime loss to the ginormous Team Liquid to close them out here. But what a way. We didn't expect this all to unravel the way that it did, but Team Liquid getting the job done at the very last moment to secure their spot in Manchester CDAPS.
Yeah, Liquid looked so incredibly good. Once again, there's not much you could say, you know? They weren't making huge mistakes. They've cleaned up so much of their game. And this is a night and day difference from what we saw in the early groups. Once again, improvement has been a phenomenal showing from Liquid. And now they're in a position where, for both LCQs last year from Brazil, the 2 teams, NIP as well as LOS, made the main stage at the major. So they have a lot to live up to still.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. But they can put this part of the journey, I guess, into their rearview mirror now and join the rest of the Brazilian teams that have already made the cut in, of course, Furia, in FaZe Clan, and in E1 Sports. And they will be boarding the plane as well to the wonderful city of Manchester in May. Commiserations, of course, to Fluxo. I don't think many of us expected them to even get to this point. They did, and they can leave this tournament with their heads held high.
And I think you're going to leave with your head held high. Mr. Predicted Team Liquid to win. Unfortunately, I didn't get that one correct, but overall, I think you're feeling yourself.
I'm feeling myself. The thing is, you know, if I was being selfish, having our first UK major over here on our soil, I would love to see, I'm hoping that they make the main stage now, because just seeing the likes of Nesk and Palu perform in front of a UK crowd would be something pretty special. Do you have a Team Liquid little logo there? Do you have their badge or not?
I was prepared for this moment because as soon as Vivo Keystars went down, it made it too easy for Team Liquid. They looked so incredibly good. They bounced through. They punched their ticket to Manchester. They're going all the way. And I think, honestly, I'm a changed man. I'm a Team Liquid fan for life. You've got good company, a lot of us as well. I think Gibson and Whippet might be standing by as well very shortly. I know that those guys are huge Team Liquid fans as well. Let's bring them in to wrap this up here. Our final day of LCQ and just the Brazil stage in general. It's been quite a ride with lots of twists and turns along the way, and it's ended in a way that I think many towards the end there, Gibson, might have expected it to.
Oh man, it was as brilliant as Brazil always serves up. There's a reason why this is the best region in the world right now. You know, yes, I'm from EU. Yes, it's tough to say, but Brazil just clears. Look, I don't know. I'm a Liquid fan. All I can say, I might never make a major. I might never cast a grand final, but I have casted Liquid winning a final. I'm happy. This is great.
Gibson, you've been a big fan of Liquid towards the end, but I know a lot of that influence came from Whippet. Whippet, you are a Liquid fanboy through and through, and you must be buzzing right now, right?
The fact that I've got to send Liquid to a major, the fact I get to see them at Manchester, hopefully if they make that main stage, but Brazil LCQ always seems to do that. Is something just so special. I've been following this team for so long. I've been a fan, basically a lifelong fan of Nesk and his career as Siege, and that was something special that last round for me.
I don't think it really matters how you get to Manchester. See, that's once you're there, once you make it to the dance, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, especially when, once again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Brazil is by far the best and most impressive region in the world. Right now, you could think any team in this LCQ probably would be punching their ticket to Manchester if they were just transplanted into another region. But now, you know, kind of the rubber meets the road. They're going to have the direct results and evidence to prove and back up those claims. We're going to see Liquid to go over to the UK. They're going to the EU. They're about to absolutely take over.
Thumbs up on cam if you think that Liquid are going to make the main stage. Oh, good stuff. I just want to give a shout out to every single person that's been a part of this Brazil stage. It has been phenomenal. We've had different talent coming in and out. We've, of course, had all of the teams that competed. Some that didn't live up to expectations. Many that exceeded them. And it all now runs through to Manchester at the back end of May. I'm hoping to be there. I know that these guys are going to be there for sure as fans, either watching at home or in the building. And we cannot wait to see you watching along with us. Thank you so much for watching the Blast R6 Brazil League this season. LCQ has been a banger. Congratulations to Team Liquid. Hats off to Fluxo. Those guys are going to be back and stronger than ever. And we will see you guys at the Manchester Major. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you soon.